KICILP 105.3 FM is Iowa City's nonprofit local radio station. We rely on listener support, and you can help us continue to air great programming like Democracy Now!, Great Taste, Green Room IC, The Situation Room, and This Way Out by making a one-time donation or setting up a recurring donation at our website, kiciradio.org. Just click on the donate button and become part of the team. KICILP. Low power, high impact.
Up next on the Green Room IC, Beverly Mead interviewed people from the Dreamwell Theater's latest production of Weird Sisters. Interviewees stopping by were Nicole Flynn, Chris Gillespie, Josh Sazon, and Madonna Smith. This interview was conducted using Zoom on October 9th, 2023.
The way I usually describe it is think Monty Python meets Macbeth.
I see from the Dreamwell website that you have quite a large cast. How many are there in total?
17.
Wow. I love big cast shows. That's great.
Not if you have to direct them. This is a little girl. She is 8 months old. She is the youngest cast member I've ever had to deal with. It was either getting her or getting a dog.
That old black magic has me in its spell.
Welcome to another episode of the Green Room IC. My guests today are Josh Sazon, director of Dreamwell Theater Company's upcoming production of Weird Sisters, and that's spelled W-Y-R-D, along with cast members Madonna Smith, Nicole Flynn, and Chris Gillespie, who are the Weird Sisters. Welcome.
Thank you, Bev.
Hi, thank you.
Great to have you all here. Now, our audience always likes to know who's behind the mic. Would you each please tell us a little bit about yourselves, such as, where you're from, what brought you to Iowa City, what your background in theater might be, things like that? Nicole, let's start with you.
Okay. Well, I am a recent transplant to Iowa City, just over a year, and this is my first production in the area. But going way back to when I was a wee youngin', I have been on the stage many a time. What'd you say?
Last week, right?
Last week or 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. So yes, productions of all kinds, all ages. I grew up on the East Coast, so mostly there, but I'm moving here from South Dakota, where I was an English professor, and did a few productions with their community theater in Brookings, South Dakota.
All right, very good. Well, that's good. We're glad to have you here, obviously.
Thank you.
Chris, how about you?
I am an Iowa native. We've been in the Iowa City area for over 20 years. I am mainly a photographer, but I did a lot of theater in school. And then when my kids started dancing with Nolte, I began participating in the Nutcracker ballet, and I did that for several years. And yeah, this is my first speaking role in just a wee bit of time.
Well, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Josh, just a little bit from you.
I've worked on a number of productions in the area, both on stage and off.
All right, that's our little bit from Josh.
That's your bit.
I knew it was coming, so that's why I said. All right, Madonna, tell us about you, my sweetheart.
My name is Madonna Smith, and I do theater often on stage, like as Josh said. I'm the president of the board of Dreamwell Theater, I work at Riverside Theater. Pretty much any way that I can be involved in theater, I am. So I really enjoy being involved in this production. It's very, very exciting that we have so many people that are either coming back after time away or their first time on stage or their first Dreamwell production. It's been very enjoyable to engage with new members of our community.
Excellent, excellent. Josh, would you please give us a brief idea of what this show is about for those people who may not know?
Sure. The way I usually describe it is think Monty Python meets Macbeth. It's essentially it's a good way to hook people in, I guess. It's essentially a parody of Shakespeare material, mostly Macbeth, but also bits and pieces from other Shakespeare works. So if you have some familiarity with that, you will enjoy it. Even if you don't have much familiarity with that, you will, I think, still enjoy it. The book itself is based on a novel by a guy named Terry Pratchett, who is getting to be fairly well known these days as one of the co-creators of Good Omens, a TV series that just appeared on Amazon not too long ago. And the original novel was actually written about 30 years ago with Neil Gaiman. Anyway, if you enjoy that kind of humor, and who amongst us does not, you'll probably enjoy this one.
All right, sounds good. Well, what drew you to this show? I mean, did you submit it to Dreamwell, or did Dreamwell ask you to direct it?
I actually submitted this about over 10 years ago. Back before Pratchett became cool, I guess.
I want to say it was in 2015, Josh, when I came back to Iowa City from Minneapolis.
I think it was more before that, honestly.
Yes, you might have been messaging me before that.
Yeah, I've submitted the script to Dreamwell, and I never got the script back. That's how I remember. It took them a while, but you know what? I am grateful, because if we didn't do it right now, I wouldn't have the wonderful cast that I have right now. And we wouldn't be performing it in this absolutely wonderful theater called the James. And so we're pretty excited about producing this show at this point in time in this venue with these people. So I am much blessed.
I also think it's kismet, because when we were starting to talk about it again, after Josh and I had talked about it a couple times, it was all of a sudden it was pandemic, and so we had to put, of course, everything on pause. And now this year is the 40th anniversary of Pratchett's Discworld series, so I think it worked out exactly when it was supposed to.
Very good.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Yeah. I see from the Dreamwell website that you have quite a large cast. How many are there in total?
17.
Wow. I love big cast shows. That's great.
Not if you have to direct them.
I agree with that. I've had a small cast and I've had a smaller cast, and I had a large cast at one point, and it blew my mind. So yeah, I understand that. We have 3 of the cast members with us today: Madonna, Nicole, and Chris. Would you each tell us your characters' names? I got around having to pronounce them. And give us a brief description of them. Madonna, let's start with you, my dear.
My character is Esme Weatherwax, also known as Granny. She has no grandchildren, so it is just a way to address a witch respectfully, and everyone is as respectful as they possibly can be around Granny, because she is very determined and opinionated and not really taking time to listen necessarily to what everyone else has to say.
Are you talking about me? My name is Mama.
It's a way to address a woman of that you respect and that you also maybe tiny bit fear a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you're talking about me. Okay, go ahead.
I've never feared you once, Bev, but I can see that you're formidable.
Well, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
You should.
Chris, why don't you tell us about your character, please?
My character's name is Magrat Garlic. She is a relatively new witch. She's very naive, very by the book with things, but she very much believes in stones and herbs and not so much the hocus pocus part of it. But yeah, she's kind of a dingbat.
I love dingbats. Okay. Thank you. Nicole, how about yourself?
I play Nanny or Githa Og. And I am definitely the mama and granny, and I have 15 children and many, many grandchildren. I've been married 3+ times ish. And Nanny enjoys all the earthly pleasures, good food, good company, good booze.
Lots of booze.
Yeah, she was a party girl in her day, and she doesn't shy away from one when the opportunity arises.
Excellent. That sounds like me too. Madonna, in addition to playing one of the sisters, you are also currently the president of the Dreamwell Board of Directors. Have you experienced any difficulty in wearing more than one hat associated with this production?
No, Bev, not at all. It's been seamless and there's been zero issues whatsoever that have come up. No,
There's a little sarcasm there.
Yeah, I'm becoming more adept at juggling. Let's just say that. There are some challenges, but it's also convenient in a way because I'm there. I can see what's happening. I can also anticipate some of the things that maybe are going to be asked about or that we need to address. And so in some ways it is a little bit more difficult, but in other ways it's easier. And I've had a really great rapport with Josh and Kelly Garrett, our stage manager, to sort of just say, no, she's a powerhouse. And we just sort of take this time to say, okay, is now a good time to check in and take that moment to say, is this an okay time to like switch gears? And then we're all pretty much on the same page pretty quickly.
That's great. That's great. Josh, you also have listed on the website someone as, quote, and introducing. Who is this person and how old are they?
This is a little girl. She is 8 months old. She is the youngest cast member I've ever had to deal with. Thankfully, 8 months.
Oh my.
It was either getting her or getting a dog. And honestly, our stage manager said she'd rather work with babies than with animals.
Okay.
So, yeah, and she does a wonderful job. She actually knows her lines, knows her blocking. She has never given me any cause for headache. I have no regrets casting her.
Excellent. What character is she playing?
She's playing a younger version of a Shakespearean actor who I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but who's who gets fairly important to the show.
Very good. As the show is set in Shakespearean England, I'm assuming you're playing it as a period piece. Is that correct?
No, it's not. No, well, it's not exactly. It's not set in Shakespearean England per se. This is a novel that is a part of a series, a fantasy series called Discworld. So it doesn't take place on the Earth as we know it, but it takes place on the back of a great turtle that is being held aloft by 4 elephants.
Oh, wonderful.
We'd like to think so. Unfortunately, we don't have the budget to bring in the 4 elephants nor the turtle.
True. Who does
But
the
it
focus
is sort
on?
of an Elizabethan England analog, if you'd like to put it
Okay.
that way. Yeah.
Okay.
What's great about Discworld is it's very representative of it's supposed to be sort of, there are definitely cities where it's a hub. And so it's like San Francisco or anywhere else where you go there and there's people with all kinds of accents and from all places of the world. And then there's parts of it where it's definitely set in a little bit more of a Shakespeare parody. And the overlap of that Josh has done has actually been really well done, and is not an easy thing to take on. So I'm not surprised he's having trouble
All
articulating.
right. Very good. Who was your costumer? I'm anxious to see the costumes for this show.
Our costumer is Rachel Singley, and assisting her is Emily Dawkins. Emily had worked in the area for a while, and she does a lovely job. She's actually based in Des Moines, but occasionally she shuttles back and forth here. Rachel is relatively new to the area, and has had some experience with costuming. I think this is the first time that she's actually doing a full out costuming in the area, and she's done a lovely job, honestly.
Okay, very good. Well, from looking at the website about the show, I'm assuming there are some props that are being specially made for the show. If I'm correct in that assumption, what are they and who is or are creating them?
Oh, that would be telling. I mean, we have some interesting props there that I really kind of wish would use a little bit more. But we have a number of people who are working on props as well. Steve Polchert, our regular prop meister in the area, he works with anyone and anything, has done a lot of our props. A lady named Jane Bradbury has also been very helpful in stepping up with the props. One of the fun things about this show is just the fact that it was basically chosen as a Halloween show of sorts. So a lot of the props have the horror kind of genre, if you'd like, and that sort of stimulates the various people volunteering their time and effort for this show.
Okay.
One of whom is Roger Phelps, and he has.
Sure. And we shouldn't give anything away about what Roger's doing.
No, I agree, but I want to make sure Roger's name gets listed.
Certainly.
In with Steve and Jane's, because they are all doing a lion's share of work. Any one of them, the amount of props and things that they're bringing in is just amazing, and the amount of time and effort they're putting onto it. And then they just keep coming to us with ideas. You think with that many things to do, they would say, please don't give me any more. But instead, this show is so collaborative, and it just absolutely inspires us all to. Terry Pratchett's just an extremely creative thinker, and I think it is bringing that out in all of us. And we are all collaborating on this show in so many different ways, and it's been really great to have Josh at the helm to sort of say, yes, this makes sense. No, let's pull this back a little bit. We kind of, we only have 4 days. We can't do everything everybody wants to do, right? And Kelly helps us figure out the best way to be safe with all of our wonderful many ideas.
That's great. That's great. I love hearing things about shows that are actually as collaborative as they sound like they are with your show. Well, now you're in a relatively new location than you usually perform.
Our second time at the James.
What?
So it's only our second time at the James.
Yeah. Tell us where the James is.
James is on 213 North Gilbert Street. It used to be Riverside Theater. It's behind Bluebird and kitty corner from John's Grocery. So it's pretty easy to find. It's got that great big parking lot behind it. So it's easy as far as typically finding. There's no home game this weekend, so it's easy enough to find parking. And of course, the beloved George and George's Burger is right there within walking distance as well.
All right, very good. For people like me, especially, it's important to ask, Is it handicap accessible?
Yes.
Yes.
The James did great upgrades. That was something Riverside was in the middle of doing anyway when they so that had to be done. And the James has really stepped up and made that made some good changes there.
It's
Excellent.
such a beautiful space too. It's just it's my first time being in there, and everything, the lobby, the seats, the backstage, it's just it's a really, I can imagine
Lobby is gorgeous.
very cool place.
Yeah.
And this Friday the 13th, in addition, we have an art show in our lobby, and the art is up now. It's local artist Monica Bazile, and she does some nature drawings and things, so it fits in beautifully with our show. But we're part of the Iowa City Book Festival, and we are also incorporated in the downtown Iowa City Art Gallery walk. So
very good. Okay, the COVID pandemic, and yes, I said that intentionally, created a number of difficulties for theaters around the country. While we are now finally coming out of that situation, we're not completely free of it. What have you been doing to protect the cast, crew, and audience to keep them all safe?
Should I take this one, Josh?
Sure, please.
So we had masks at rehearsal and sanitizer available for everyone. We encouraged people when they were not on stage. You know, if you're in a scene with a lot of people, maybe one person would have their mask off so that, you know, Josh could at least get some kind of read on what was happening. It's very difficult to direct people in masks. And we were very conscious of it, and we just tried to keep some air circulation going and things like that. There are no mask-free performances, but certainly we will have masks available for people that want to wear them.
Okay, very good. How would you rate this show, if you need to, with regard to how appropriate it would be for younger viewers?
Well, we were just talking about this last night, Kelly and I, and Kelly has some kids, so it was relevant, but we said it's probably not quite PG-13, but it maybe is PG plus. You know, there is some themes and some fighting that happen, things like that, but really it's definitely a show that would be fun to bring. There's so much going on, it's so much comedy. I think it's pretty good for everybody. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, in fairness, though, some of the humor will actually go over the kids' heads. Some of the humor can be just a little bit risque. Yeah, and I think that's as far as I'll go with that. It does get a little bit risque, but I don't think kids will really pick up on it.
I think our biggest swear words are bleeding bloody hell, and we say that, things like that, but otherwise it's not too bad as far as language either. For the things that go over your head, and also quite frankly go over Magrat's head most of the time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I do have two of my nieces are coming, and the youngest one, who's 6, got so excited when she heard I was going to be in a play about witches, and her mom told her it was Macbeth, so she checked out like the kids' version of Macbeth from the library and has been reading it, and they're coming on Saturday nights or Friday.
Amazing.
So there'll be at least a couple youngins in the audience.
All right. For people who need to plan on babysitters, dinner reservations, rides to and from the theater, etc., how long will the performance last?
We're clocking in at about 2 hours and 15 minutes with about a 15-minute intermission. So it's not a bad length.
All right. What are the run dates, and what are curtain times for each performance?
We are opening this Thursday, which is, I believe it's the 12th or the 13th. I forget.
12th.
Yeah. We are opening Thursday the 12th through Saturday is a 7:30 show.
Sunday, yeah.
And then Sunday, the 15th, is a 2:00 matinee.
Okay, very good. Dreamwell usually produces their shows for 2 weekends. Why is this production only one?
Well, there's a little bit of a cost difference between renting the James and renting the Artifactory. And so in order to manage our budget and do the best we can for the show. We have 4 days in a row versus 2 weekends. It's just sort of the way that that works out most easily.
Okay. All right. How would someone go about getting tickets?
You can go to the James website. You can also visit the, which I believe is jamesic.com. And then you can also go to dreamwell.com and go to the Weird Sisters section or go to our tickets section. And both of those things will link you to the James. Most of our cover photo and our Facebook event also will take you to those places.
Okay. Dreamwell often has one performance of Pay What You Can, but not for this short run. You are, however, encouraging people to reach out if they have difficulty paying the full price. Who should they contact and how?
They can just message me, Bev, at president@dreamwell.com, and I will help with that, and I will find out. As long as the seats are not sold out already, that should not be an issue. So
very good.
Just reach out to me. We also have an option this week for an invited dress. So if somebody can't come on the weekend and wants to reach out to me about that, they can do that as well.
Very good. Again, Weird Sisters, and there are 3 of them, and they are just delightful. Produced by Dreamwell Theater Company, is being performed at the James Theater on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, October 12th, 13th, and 14th, with the curtain rising at 7:30 p.m., and Sunday, October 15th, with the curtain rising at 2 p.m. Well, it's time to close the curtain on this interview. Thank you all again for being here today. It's been so much fun and very informative, and I've really enjoyed our time together. I hope we can be doing another interview with you all again soon.
Thank you, Bev and KIC. We appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's such an ancient pitch, but one that I'd never switch, 'cause there's no nicer witch than you.
The Green Room IC is an original production of KICI Radio in Iowa City. The host for this episode is Beverly Mead, with production by Craig Jarvie. Visit KICI's SoundCloud page to hear this and other Green Room IC interviews.